for recursive common table expression, we need three different things: anchor member, recursive member, and termination condition. So you have all the Fridays. Then we created that, okay, for all of those Fridays, which week they fall on, and for each of those weeks and Fridays, premium and VIP. So this is the common table expression 2. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. This channel, Avid Science, is all about trying to learn various concepts of science by practicing a lot of questions. In this video, we are going to solve this question on Leetcode regarding Friday purchases part 3. The difficulty level of this question is medium, and I'm going to share the SQL schema as well as the Panda schema in the description box below. Okay, the question reads, we are given a table called purchases with three different columns: user ID, purchase date, and amount spent. The combined columns user ID, purchase date, and amount spent is the primary key, that is combination of columns with unique values for this table. Purchase date will range from November 1, 2023 to November 30, 2023, inclusive of both dates. Each row contains user ID, purchase date, and amount spent. We are also given a second table called users with two different columns: user ID and membership. User ID is the primary key for this table. Membership is an enum category type which can contain values like standard, premium, or VIP. Each row of this table indicates the user ID and the membership type. We are asked to write a solution to calculate the total spending by premium and VIP members on each Friday of every week in November 2023. If there are no purchases on a particular Friday by premium or VIP members, it should be considered as 0. Return the result table ordered by week of the month and then membership in ascending order. Okay, let's go to this example. Here we have various purchases, and then we have the users table which basically tells you which user ID belongs to what membership category. And then we need that for every Friday of November 2023, we see that for premium as well as VIP, what's the total amount spent, right? And that is what you get in your output. So basically, if let's say there are 4 Fridays in month of November 2023, you are going to have 8 rows. Why? For each Friday in the week of November 2023, you need 2 rows, one for premium, one for VIP, and what's the total amount spent. Okay, so to solve this question, the first thing that we need to do is, in month of November 2023, what are all the dates Friday occurred? Now, if you recall, we did the second part of this question, Friday purchases part 2, just before in the last video. And here what we did was we tried to understand how we can calculate Fridays of any given particular month, right? So we use recursive common table expression. Let me just walk you through quickly on what we did was, so for recursive common table expression, we need three different things: anchor member, recursive member, and termination condition. The way that we started to get the anchor member was that, hey, 1st of November 2023, and then we basically are trying to find out, okay, when is the first Friday, and we are using this math. We are using day of the week function, and day of the week function returns these several numbers ranging from 1 to 7, which means these days. So for example, if I quickly walk you through, let's say 1st of November 2023 was a Tuesday. So from Tuesday, what would be the first Friday month of November of 2023? It is going to be, if you add 3 more days, you are going to arrive at Friday. So if you look at this math, so this is 6 minus day of the week of 1st of November. We assume that it is Tuesday. So 6 minus 3, that is 3, plus 7 is 10. 10 modular 7, that means what's the remainder if you divide 10 by 7? That is going to be 3. So in this date, 1st of November, add 3 days and you are going to get the first Friday, and that is what you get. And similarly, there is a recursive member, so it keeps on adding the same thing again and again. So you see, like, it keeps on adding the Fridays, and then there is a termination condition that, hey, until the end of November 2023, you give me all the Fridays. Okay, so once you get all the Fridays, then we can proceed forward. So what we can do is, since we need to calculate all the Fridays, we can just simply go ahead and copy paste this entire thing so that it's easier for us, right? We don't have to waste time writing this part. So this is doing the basically same thing: anchor member, then there is a recursive member and a termination condition. And let us do this. Let us do return me all the Friday dates. So this was a common table expression called CTE. Let me go ahead and run this. Let's see what do we get in our output. Okay. So if you look at our output right now, you have all the Fridays in November 2023. Now, in the second part of this question, the question wanted that on each of the Fridays, what was the total purchases, right? So what we did was we simply perform a left join of all the Friday that we had with the purchases table on these dates, and then we simply summed the amount spent for each of the dates to get the total spent. But here the question says differently, right? What's the difference? The difference is irrespective of whether there was a purchase or not made by the premium or VIP members, we need to have them in the output. So you see, like even if on the Friday of the first week of November 2023, that is 3rd of November 2023, there was no amount spent by VIP member, we still had to make sure that in our output it is captured as 0. So what we need now is we need to get that for each of the Friday dates, let's get which week of the month it's on and then try to get the memberships as well. So what we are going to do is now from this common table expression, we need to find out the week of the month. Again, week of the month we already calculated in the second part as well. Like we use this, this function. Let me just, copy this part so that, and I will explain you quickly like how this works. So here you simply return me this week, right? Let me just bring it down, and then what you do is instead of purchase date it is going to be Friday date, because in your common table expression this is the date column is called Friday date. Then you return me the Friday date. Okay, let me go ahead and run this. Let's see what do we get in our output right now. So if you look at our output, what we have is week of the month 1 2 3 4 and the Friday dates. And to quickly recap how this function is working, this week function, when you pass any date to that, it gives you the week of the year, not the month. So if you pass week of Friday date, that is week of date 3rd of November 2023, it will give you a certain week of year 2023. Then you need to subtract which week of the year 1st of November 2023 fell on. And let's say if both of them are in the same week, this part will come out to be 0. But you see in your output, it should start with 1. So that is why we do +1 and then we alias this entire thing as week of the month. Okay. Once you have this, then what you need is we need to have week of the month, and for each week of the month, the membership part as well, right? So what we can do is we can simply do a cross join. How? Let's look at this. Let's alias this as C, and then let's do a cross join of, we can basically add two values, premium and VIP, and name the column as membership. So let me just do simply this: return me premium as membership, and then perform a union with return me VIP. Okay, and we are doing a cross join. So for each of these rows, all the two values will come, and that is what we want, right? The first two columns. For each week of the month, we need the membership, either premium or VIP, right? And let us alias this part as say D, and we need D dot membership in this. Let me go ahead and run this. Let's see what do we get in our output. Now, if you look at this, what do you have here is you have week of the month, right? And the membership, premium, VIP. So you see, like you have the first two columns that you need in your output. Now, what we need is you have this. So this can be saved in a common table expression 2. So let's save this entire thing in common table expression 2. So CTE2 as this entire thing goes into parentheses. Now, what we need is just to quickly recap what all we have done for so far. So we use this recursive common table expression to get all the Fridays in November 2023, right? So you have all the Fridays. Then we created that, okay, for all of those Fridays, which week they fall on, and for each of those weeks and Fridays, premium and VIP. So this is the common table expression 2. Now we have two tables. Remember, we have users table and we have the purchases table. You cannot go ahead and directly join right now because you need not only the purchase date, you also need the membership, right? Then only you can say that, hey, on this particular date and for this particular membership, what was the purchase amount, right? So what we can do is we can perform a left join of purchases and users table using the user ID column to get all the information at one place. So what we are going to do is from the table called purchases, let us alias this as P. Let us perform a left join of the users table aliased as U on P dot user id is equal to u dot user id. For them, we need all the columns from purchases, and from users table, we are only concerned about the membership. So u dot membership. Let me go ahead and run this. Let's see what do we get in this output. So now you have all the columns from purchases, right? So the first three columns are coming from purchases table and the membership comes from the users table. Now what we need is this becomes our common table expression 3. So let's me save this. So CTE3 as this entire thing goes into parentheses. So now if you switch back to Excel, so you have common table expression. Based on that, we created common table expression 2, week of the month, Friday date and membership. Then we have for each of the purchases, the amount spent, and what was the membership category of that particular user. Now we can use CT2 and CT3 to perform a join that, hey, on this Friday and this membership, join these and then try to find out the amount spent, and then we can calculate the total, right? So now what we are going to do is from common table expression 2 aliased as let's say C1, perform a left join of common table expression 3 aliased as C2 on C1 dot Friday date is equal to C2 dot purchase date, right? Purchase date. Why? So you see, city 2 is you have the Friday date and then you join on the purchase date and then you also do membership equal to membership, right? So this one and C1 dot membership is equal to C2 dot membership. Once you perform the join, what we want is we want for each week, right? So for each week of the month and membership, give me the total of amount spent. So you say group by C1 dot week of the month, C1 dot membership, return me C1 dot week of the month, C1 dot membership, and then you sum the amount spent. Amount spent is going to come from CTE3, hence it would be C2 dot amount spent, and then you perform a sum of this. Let me just bring it down. So sum this entire thing, but it also says that if it is not present, you have to input the value 0. So hence, if for some conditions on some Fridays and for some particular membership there is no purchase, so it will come out to be null. So if this comes out to null, you replace it with 0. And let's alias this as what is required in our output. It's the total amount, right? Okay. Once we have this, we also need to order this by certain things. So order by C1 dot week of the month and then by membership. So C1 dot membership. Okay. I think this looks good. Let me go ahead and run this. Let's see what do we get in our output. So you say this is accepted. Our output is exactly same as expected output. Let me go ahead and submit this to pass all the test cases or not. So yeah, this is accepted and this is how we do it. So yeah, very tricky question. lengthy as well, but what we basically did was we used recursive common table expressions to get all the Fridays of November 2023. Then what we did was, for all of those Friday dates, we tried to find out which week of the month of November 2023 those Fridays fall on. And then for all those week of the month and the Friday date, we tried to make sure that we have both the membership, premium and VIP in stored. Once we had that, we also tried to find out that, okay, for each of the purchases made by the users, which category of users they were, and hence now we have two common table expressions, CTE2 and CTE3, with the desired information that we want. We simply perform a join using the date as well as the membership criteria, group by the week and the membership, and calculated the total amount spent. So yeah, this is how we do it. Let me know if there's a better, more efficient solve this question. Let the solution be in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.